Boom diggity peeps in the house. I hope you're rocking it on this day. Let's make sure we got our stream set up. And it looks like we do. And we are rocking. All right. Oh yeah, there it is. I see it. All righty peeps. So, hello there. And welcome to December of 2018's, oh my goodness, Health, Wealth, and Happiness Monthly Mastery. This part of the year, at least in the last 3 years, as I've gained a little more, I would say, mastery in really owning the closing down of this year, looking back, celebrating the wins, moving forward with a visualization for what could be. This year, it's like so, I don't know, deep, articulate. I have such an emotional connection with simplicity and really helping in the ways that I do. And I cannot thank you enough for being part of this journey with me, allowing me to do this with you. I was reflecting this morning, being, I don't know, more emotional today or what, but just reflecting on the fact that we've come so far. This is month 17 in our life and business monthly mastery. And I always worried, as so many of us do when we do monthly subscription models, these kind of things, we always worry, like, are we going to be able to add value a year from now? Are we going to be able to really help people? And I feel like we're not only doing that, but we're doing it in a more amplified way. And I hope you feel the same. I'm so incredibly grateful for you. So happy that you're here with me, especially in light of what we're going to cover today. Because this visualization exercise is something I've done in the last 2 years. I kind of did it 2 years before that, like every year before that, but I didn't do it with as much intention or depth. So we'll be going through this exercise together. Before we do that, of course, we're going to talk big picture. Then we'll do the training exercise, which is the visualization. Then we'll talk some tactics. But I'd love for you to think about and share. If you're in our YouTube live stream, we got the comments rolling. Go ahead and share what you're extremely grateful for from 2018 or what you're excited about, whether that's for the next couple of weeks as we get into the holidays or about 2019. Like, this is really setting the stage for our year. That being said, let's jump right in. Want to make sure we hit it out of the park for you. We got 60 beautiful minutes together. So first things first, how does this work? Big picture. Then we talk about training. Then we talk about tactics. This comes from the world of adult learning theory. We want to kind of paint the picture, get the story, get the illustration, get the reason why we're doing this. And then we want to step into the training piece, which kind of fuels that big picture. Okay, we got the arc. We understand why we're doing what we're doing. Now, what are we doing today to move forward in any of those areas from the big picture details? And finally, I want to make sure you have marching orders. That as soon as you're done with this session today, take 10, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever that is for you, journal, take action. These are the things I'm going to take action on today or that I'm going to take action on over the next week, but definitely before the new year in light of what we're going to cover today. So thanks again for being here. Let's get jumping into this. We're going to change things up a little bit today too. If you've been with us for our entire journey, there's a couple new things going on. There'll be some new stuff going on in 2019 as we tune this machine, making sure we're living into the process, but bringing the love, energy, care, connection, challenge. You know, I'm challenging you. That's the coach in me, making sure we're owning it there. So first of all, make sure you have no distractions. Incredibly important as we think about this beautiful work we're doing. That, you know, if there's a buzzer that goes off or our attention gets diverted, sometimes what happens there, you know, we feel like, what did he just say? We come out of that. I keep referring to this book by Cal Newport called Deep Work. And there's been no other time in history where our attention sits at a surface level because we're in a constant state of being on call. Meaning, like, there could be a buzzer that comes in and our bodies are used to it versus 100, 200 years ago where our bodies were just, they weren't interrupted nearly as much. They weren't distracted. We didn't have buzzers going off. So our job is to get deeper integration to sort of ward off or shield against all these distractions so that we can really think things through, to be world-class in whatever we're doing. Today we're going to be world-class in our life. What kind of blessing is that, right? Oh, I love it. Next, of course, take notes. Start any questions. If you're in our mastery community, you know, we're going to have our Zoom Q&A roundtable today. I got a bunch of questions sitting right over there. Already prepped, ready to roll. We'll start with those, and then we'll go through whatever else shows up with whoever's attending, making sure I'm taking care of you, caring for you, helping you, giving you distinctions, answering your questions, helping you really set up to crush 2019. That's my job on this planet, and I take it incredibly seriously. Rocking it out with you, helping you, going after it. So powerful, but you gotta know, I gotta know what those questions are. And please, as you know, be open and vulnerable. If that question is like, oh, I don't feel like asking it, I gotta be courageous when I do. Please be courageous. Please ask it. I don't bring judgment. I learned a long time ago in the coaching journey that I'm on, when I'm the coach and when I'm not the coach, judgment doesn't serve. What does serve is me hearing where you're at, acknowledging it, and saying, okay, what can we do to really grow from there? Or go a different direction, or have a different distinction, whatever that is. But you gotta be open and vulnerable about that. And I just wanna make sure I'm serving you there. So powerful. Next, make sure you participate. In line of how we do it here in YouTube, you just comment. And make sure you're commenting. I'm gonna be walking through some exercises. You're gonna be getting asked to rate yourself, do these kind of things. Make sure you're doing it. Really powerful, because here's what we know. You put that into the world, your brain starts to think about, oh, I gotta do something with it. You just think about it at a theory level, it's like, whatever. I want you to be deep. I want you to go after it. I want you to feel the support. We got a great community of people that are helping each other, calling on each other, accountability partners, buddies, growth partners, whatever you want to call it, taking care of each other. I love that. And that's what it is. We're all here for you. The beauty of what we've created over the last 17 months is a community of people who are all on the growth path in life, in business, and online. Not all of them are on the business and online piece. Many of them are. And those are the 3 ways I serve. We were teaching in this Coaches Zoom Roundtable earlier this week. When I talk to somebody and they ask, what do you do, Charlie? I go, I help you from where you're at to where you want to be. And I do that in 3 beautiful ways: in life, in business, and online. Where are you struggling at? Any of those areas? And then, boom, we get into that conversation of me helping them. It's a completely different introduction than me just saying to you, hey, I'm a certified high performance coach, and I can help you get more clarity, energy, courage, productivity, influence. Without context, those words, sometimes they don't land. Actually, most of the time they don't land. But if I can really start to uncover for you what that is, boom, we're on that growth path together. And people support what they create. If you don't have that written down or tattooed, I don't have tattoos, but I'm just saying, people support what they create. Bring the joy, honor the struggle. Could have all these high performance tattoos, right? Challenge you not to do that, or do that depending on if you like ink. I'm not a fan of needles. I don't like that stuff in terms of the ink side of it, but that'd be kind of cool just to get, whatever, kind of rocking it up this day. So our first step today is perspective with fireworks. And I want to make sure we're really serving you here. So the 5 Ps, this is new for us, but I did this in some of our Zoom Zoom check-ins this week, and it landed so well. I'm going to do it with you right now. Here's what I want you to do. Take a deep breath. Maybe shut your eyes for a minute. Just kind of zero yourself out. Just kind of bring your energy to an even keel. And I want you to think about, for the year 2018 so far, we're going to go through each of these 5 Ps, and I want you to rate yourself on how well you feel you've done in the area. So we're going to do that self-assessment strategy we usually do. 0 means I didn't do well here at all. Don't even, what are you talking about? 10 means I owned it. And this is in all contexts of your life, all parts of your life. Whether you're a parent, a husband, a wife, in a relationship, son, daughter, just the overall average, not only in life, in business too, if you're an entrepreneur or whatever that would be. I just really want to integrate this with you as we step into this, because this is my job on this planet, is to help you live into these, to help you live into them consistently for the long term. As we say in high performance, while keeping well-being and positive relationships at play. You follow? So here we go. The first one, purposeful. As you think back through all of 2018, how purposeful have you felt? So for the basics, if this is new language for you, so many times people are like, you know what? When I feel purposeful, I'm helping others somehow. Sometimes in the line of when I work with entrepreneurs, when they feel purposeful when they're helping others and or helping others grow their business, depending on the context of what they do for work. Does that make sense? Like there's 2 realms: helping others improve their lives, helping others grow their businesses. But other people report feeling purposeful when they're with their family, going out adventures, like the girls and I. If you remember, I don't know if you were following me on Instagram or Facebook. About 2 months ago, we went on a Sunday when I picked them up. We drove right over to Miami, about 2.5 hours, and we went to brunch at the Betsy, had these beautiful popovers. Oh, they smell so good. I don't usually eat a lot of bread, but whoa, these things are amazing. egg white omelet for me, and then we walked the beach. And just thinking about the arc of what felt purposeful for me this year, that's one of the highlights. When I went in July, we all went to Switzerland, and I got half the vlogs I guess they're called, on YouTube, and really going after that adventure, feeling very purposeful with my family. But then in the context of my work, being here, helping our mastery community, helping the beautiful people I'm blessed to coach. These are all elements purposeful. So for me, purposeful, that's a 9. Could it be a little more purposeful? Probably. I got to really think that through. So I don't know what that is for you, but go ahead and write purposeful in your number if you got your notes out. And just think about, okay, if it's whatever the number is, that's totally cool. Could be a 2, could be a 10, could be a 6. Just think about what can I do to amplify that even more. Next, passionate. How passionate was I through the work that I've done? Where was my passion low? Through my life, where was my passion low? What if I could replay this year? Would I do differently? Or would I have done differently to really ignite passion or to remove the non-passionate parts? Have you ever seen the movie Click with Adam Sandler, where he's able to fast forward through his life and he's rewinding to the good parts and fast forwarding to the parts that are like more emotional, just getting over the doldrums of life? Like when we rewind, we want most of our life to have some zest, some verve, some vitality, right? Maybe not when we're sleeping, but I'm pretty passionate about sleeping. I don't know about you. So for passionate, I give that a 10 for me, just going after it. Finally got that aligned. Third, positive. How, over the whole year, how well did you do at bringing the joy? Even if it was just for yourself. Great friend of mine, somebody I'm coaching, said, you know what? I'm positive with others, I give myself an 8. In terms of my self-talk, I give myself a 4. So we really spent some time there working on the positive for self-talk. Because I don't know if you know, but psychology shows we're negatively biased for survival purposes. Back in the day, we couldn't be like, oh, these trees are beautiful and these rocks are awesome and I'm totally in a safe zone. We'd have to be scouting out to see, is there any animals around here that can eat me? I got to be on the hunt. The world sucks because people or animals are around to eat us. We got to sleep under this rock and I got to stay guard. You know what I mean? Like there was this negativity bias for survival purposes. And our job today is to overcome this trait that is in humanity. Like, why do you think when we read the news or watch titles on commercials that they're going after struggle? They're going after neutral, negative topics a lot of times. And we get hooked. That's the number one complaint a lot of high performers have. Is like, where's the good information? Like in the book Factfulness by Hans Rosling, about how the world's never been better. Where are we seeing that? Well, we're not seeing that too much unless you hunt for it, right? So, have you brought the joy this year overall? Where have you not? What situations, relationships have you not been most positive? And what can you do to ramp that up? So for me, positive, I'm gonna give myself a 9+. I think I can be a little better. I like the self-talk part. Sometimes that takes me out, especially after a long week, I just feel depleted. And I really want to make sure as I go into 2019 that when I get that sensation of depletion, I got to understand where it's coming from. And sometimes it's just tired, sometimes it's mental fatigue, whatever that is. Next up, productive. And again, I want to put a star by this. You don't see a star there, but I would put one there. How productive have you been in light of living into your life's work, your life's ambitions? And I hope you understand that productivity along these P's can mean taking a complete day off of work, like the busy work, the stuff that we're trying to do in the world to, get money, right? And a completely productive day can just be going for a walk in a park, taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, having a great day out or a great night out with friends. That's all part of the big picture of production as we teach it. Productivity in high performance. Really, really important. So how'd you do here for 2018? For me, productivity, 8+. I know there's some things I got to work on and I'm on it. I always talk about consistency. That's a big part of this. Going on a hunt for that. It's my word of the year 2019. Last up is profitable. When you think about the savings versus spending rate, the highest performers save 50% of what they earn. And for some, they're like, I don't even know how it would even be possible. Because I'm not only not even breaking even, but I'm going in the red, just trying to take care of basics. And if that's you, I relate. I was there. 90s, in the early 90s. And I was working my butt off, and I was like, what's going on here? I'm working so much. I feel like I'm making a lot, but I'm not able to even break even. And some things had to shift in my life, and they did. And you probably know my theme, recurring revenue equals personal freedom. So in context for what's going on today, subscription revenue, in terms of the way that the world works from thought leadership, get on a subscription program or have one. Go in and think about how you can really provide value for the long term. These are some things that may help you. And if you're totally unclear there, just let me know. Comment below, or in the replay, if you're watching this replay, comment or email me, let me know. You're like, dude, I'm at the I don't know, because I've got a lot of resources I can send you and help you with. So how did you do here in line of all this? And profitability for me is a 10, by the way. So how'd you do here? Was this fun? I hope you enjoyed this. Let's see if there's any comments rolling. Oh yeah, I see the peeps. We got Jenny, Janine, Linda, Judy, Dr. John, and Linda, and it looks like there's a few others joining us. I'm so happy to see y'all. Good morning, beautifuls. Love it. Next up is the life assessment. We're going to take a little bit of time, walk through these 7 areas, and assess ourselves on this. So we're painting more context for how we want to show up as we move into 2019, and also being real with how we showed up in 2018 as well. So here's the statement. I'm going to go through and read it to you. I am where I thought I'd be at this point in my life. Overall, I'm living into the best version of me for myself, for me, those I love and care for, and the world. So when you think about this right now, and let's go all through 2018, are you at where you thought you'd be now? Have you defined the best version of yourself in these 3 areas? And have you been living into them? So your rating should reflect the overall average of these things. 0, not at all, don't even know where I want to be at this point in my life. Best version, I don't even, what does that even mean? 10, you got this dialed in. So for me, when I look at this, yes. So a 10 here, best version in the world. And this part would probably be the C. The C would be the part I think I can do a much better job at. So I can give myself an overall of 8 here. So whatever that is for you, if it's an 8 or below, think about one thing, and if you're up for it, share it in the comments and let us know what it would be to bump that up. What is the work you have to put in to really own this, to step that up? Next up is my best self, kind of diving deeper on that aspect of it. Overall, I feel healthy, happy, and energized. My energy levels are consistent throughout the day and even sustained into the evenings until I wind down for bed. How are you doing with even keel energy? Not this, just this. That's what we teach in high performance. Well, let me be clear. We teach this. I don't know if you can tell the difference. It's a up-leveling always. Not being unreal with the fact that we can dip and come back. But the highest performers are really clear about that reset, recharge, rejuvenate. I was just coaching 2 weeks ago, and I said this in one of our trainings, where the guy said, Char, I just went through, and I was able to get out of that mindset that today's going to be a bad day because something really threw me off that would have made me angry for the day. And instead of a bad day, I had a bad minute. Well, a bad couple of minutes. And I took the walk. I listened to some songs that really helped me just reconnect with the universe. And I came back in. 20 minutes later, I was a new dude. I was like a brand new day. Just telling you this gives me chills. Because that's the work we do in high performance, right? Helping people reset, recharge, rejuvenate, but also sustain and level up for the long term. So how are you doing here? Your best self. When you think about all of 2018. So let me think about this for me. Energy levels, consider in the evenings. Yeah. Man, I go, whether it's life, business, whatever it is. And I get about 9:30, and I'm like, phew, and I just realize it's time for me to go to sleep. Get up around 4:45, no alarm. Who am I? I used to be the night owl. That was the time I used to go to bed. That's it. Next up is my relationships. So I work diligently to create, build, and maintain great relationships with those around me. I'm a good role model for my loved ones, those close to me and the world. I consistently listen well, show compassion for myself and others, and communicate my thoughts and feelings. Here's the arc, and this is the part that I don't know how this has come up in the last 2 weeks, but this communicate piece has been the biggest gate opener for so many people I've been coaching. Even the people in our mastery community for check-in calls, they're like, if I just communicated better with more intention, I would have been able to uplift my relationships with not only myself, like the relationship of me feeling comfortable with me, but the relationship with others, but the relationship with my clients, and I would have been able to grow my client base So if you haven't watched it yet, I just put up part 1 of our coaches Q&A. And even if you're not a coach, there's principles at play here in terms of how to do the dialogue. If you're in the Mastery community, just go to the Mastery community schedule. You'll see the replay is now available, part 1. Just click on it and watch it. I got the audio there and the transcript for you. But it's all about this. And it's all about living into this. And great businesses are built on this. So where you stand here with 2018 overall. And I feel like I'm at about a, let's see, in the overall probably 9. This part, the world piece, the role model, like I said, I can do better there. So I'm going to probably give myself an 8 on this. Next up, stress, overwhelm, and clarity. We just talked this through a little bit. Let me kind of break it out for you. I have great stress management practices in my life. When I do get stressed, I know exactly what to do to reduce or remove it from my life. I typically do not feel overwhelmed or distracted because I have complete clarity of who I am and what I should be doing every day. And that's the arc. This stuff comes right from the world of high performance in our first few sessions. Focus, clarity, energy, courage, productivity, influence. Like this stuff comes from that. So if you're feeling down or low here, step right back into the core sessions. Hit focal points and clarity. Put that on your calendar to do this week, especially in prep for 2019, because I think that will really serve and really help you. Oh, let me go back. Where I'm doing here. Let's see. Yeah, so this is a 10. Where do I get stressed? I know exactly what to do. Yes, that's a 10. I have great stress management. Yes. And I can celebrate that with you, because boy, did that take a while to dial in. But it's because I've been on the hunt for 7+ years. And only in the last maybe 2 have I gotten even an 8 out of this. Today, I'm like on it. I sense stress, I'm out of there, I'm just decompressing, I'm going after it. Getting it out of my life, getting right back on track. Cool? Next up, my career mission. The work I do in the world is meaningful to me. I believe I'm consistent about living in alignment with what the best use of me, my passions, and my talents are. So many people I've met have got incredible traits, qualities, characteristics. And then I see them go into a job where they're using maybe 5% of it. But that's all they know. They've never been challenged to think bigger. It's that 10x conversation. Like to say to somebody, what would it take for you to 10x your life? That's a beefy set of creative brainstorming. Is that word? Does that all make sense? Beefy set of creative brainstorming. I don't think I've ever said those words in that order before. I hope you get it. They're like, what are you talking about? Especially people who are new or haven't talked about personal development or self-improvement. They're just like, oh, wow, what? So then we do a little exercise, sort it out. So where are you here? What's your ambitions for 2019? What does it show up like for you when you think about your career, your mission? About living in alignment with what the best use of you is. And do you know what that is? You know? So along these lines, 10+, I'm on it. That's the reason we're here together right now. Because I know the very best use of me on a Saturday in December, beautiful sun shining out there, Florida sunshine, about 80 degrees out, is to be here with you in the studio. Just helping you crush, supporting you, challenging you, caring for you, loving you. Just going after that with you. Like, there's no fiber in my being that's like, oh, you should be out playing. It's this. There's plenty of time for playing later, and we're playing later tonight, rocking it out. This is it, though. And I'm so clear about that. If you are not clear about that, you and I have work to do. Please schedule your check-in call with me. We've had a ton of them this week. I think we did 11 on Tuesday. And I'm swinging like Tarzan on the rope of purpose from call to call, going after it. Had just as much energy on the last session as I did the first. We got the whiteboard set up with some specific exercises. We got the call recorded so you can listen to it and hear yourself and hear me talking through whatever's showing up for you. Just reach out. We'll schedule that. It's about 20, 30 minutes. And we do it on Zoom usually, or we can do it on the phone, whatever works for you, just to make sure we're dialing that in if that's part of your endeavor for 2019. You're going to love the visualization work we're going to do too today as part of this process. So what is that for you? 0, don't have it out at all. 10, owning it. Next, my hobbies and passions. I know and understand the importance of having hobbies to help me continually connect with my creative and self-expressive side. I'm consistent about nurturing my hobbies and passions. So many people I've met are like, oh, one of my hobbies used to be playing video games. And I can't do that now because that's not high performance. And I'm like, oh, Trust me, playing video games is incredibly high performance. What are you talking about? Because it's not playing video games for a day, unplanned. It's playing video games with your family. If you ever read the book by Jane McDonough called Super Better, gaming is one of the best ways to connect with people, especially if the game's engineered in a way where you're growing together. My girls and I, we love playing, well, Paige and I love playing Rocket League on the PS4. And we got away from that. In the last few weeks, we've been playing it again. But she usually kicks my butt, and I'm cool with that, even though I used to be the gamer guy. But we have so much fun. Some of the games on Mario, Nintendo Wii U, these things really facilitate connection, you know? And that's one of our hobbies. And for me, when I play Battlefield 4, it's a game by Electronic Arts. I played this for the last 3 years. It's a 20-minute session where I'm just firing neurons consistently, strategically. And it's weird as that sounds, for some people it zaps them of energy. For me, it increases energy. It sets reset, recharge, rejuvenate. So I got a gaming computer, I play that on, and I'll do a 20-minute one round where I'm playing with people from all around the world. And we're connected. I'm like, dude, where are you from? I'm from Florida. I'm from Turkey. I'm from Russia. I'm from UK. And we're having fun. And we get that time together. There's connection, but there's also, I love strategy. So that's a big part of that. Does that all make sense? These are hobbies and passions. But I know, and I'll strategically put them in my day when I'm like, oh, I'm too far into this project. I need to pull myself out. I'll do that. Go for a walk in the park. Play some guitar. Whatever that is to facilitate that self-expression, creative, expressive side. So for me, I'm going to whip through this, right? For me, that's, I think it's a 7 because I know I can do more of that. I've only been catching up, if you will, in the last couple of weeks to think about this as I've been being very aware of where I've fallen off. This was one of them. Next and last is my life's ambitions. And we're going to talk a lot about this today. We're going to go through a very specific visualization. How are we doing on time so far? Love it. Very powerful. If I died tomorrow, I wouldn't have any regrets. A little more context there. Would there have been things, if you were to reflect on, say you're dead but your soul's alive, right? Would there have been anything you're like, oh, I wish I went after that? Dang it, I wish I talked to them. I wish I said I love them more. I lived a life where I paid attention to and taken action on my life's ambitions, presupposing that you've defined these. We're going to go through an exercise. That exercise today will help with that. At least once a year, I reevaluate my life's ambitions and schedule time for them. I have, and it's kind of behind the camera in my little production cave, the Fun and Freedom 2018, a life fully lived, full engagement and joy. It's a big 11 by 17 sheet. It's got all these bubbles of words. Some of them, let me see, Atlanta, Switzerland, Fort Myers, downtown, Naples Beach. And it's just a reminder, and I see it visually every day, this is life's ambitions from travel and adventure perspective. You follow? And every time we do these, I check them. So when we hit Switzerland and we hit it hard back in July, big check, big smile in that bubble. So my challenge for you here, and in light of what we're going to cover today, is get 11 by 17 sheet out, get a whiteboard, get a flip chart, whatever that is for you, and just start drawing up 2019 at the top, and then just start drawing out exactly what it is you want to make sure you hit. Could be a place, could be an experience. You could even put bubbles of feelings. I want to feel simple. Like I want to feel my life is simple. I want to be clear. It could be clarity. I want to be clear about who I am, what I'm doing. You know, these can be things for that. Fun and Freedom 2018. I want to get rid of 90% of my stuff. That was one of my ambitions in 2006, and I lived into it. And that was awesome. If you didn't see that training on minimalism, I think it was 2 months ago, go back and rewatch the replay. I think you'll really enjoy that. So, so powerful. So what is this for you? I'm going to say for here, this is a 6 for me. Because here's the thing. I've been watching YouTube, Riley and Elena sailing La Vagabond. Riley and Elena sailing La Vagabond. And they are a YouTube channel, a guy and a girl who just like met in an island in Greece. She was there performing. He was there on a vacation. And then he said, I'm going to go sail the world. I bought this sailboat. Would you want to join me? And she's like, well, maybe we could do some island hopping. And they did that like 5 years ago. And they've been on their sailboat, and then they got a bigger catamaran. For the last 5 years, journey, video blogging, their whole journey. But I didn't know, and this is the thing that I want you to be aware of. There's so much more in the world for me to explore. I didn't know that. I thought I was pretty good about it. I didn't know about free diving. I didn't know about how alkaline being, when your body's in an alkaline state, you can hold your breath longer. And it provides a better experience when you free dive. Like, I didn't know these things. They're teaching this just by like going through their adventures and whipping this stuff out and reflecting. And how are they making that work? So if you really want to think bigger, I challenge you to watch Riley and Elena. I know Paul on the call. I was like, Paul's got to know about this because his dream and ambition is to sail the world. And he goes, dude, I've been following them for 3 years. I'm like, I just found them. Really, really powerful. You follow? If you want some recommendations on the best videos of theirs, let me know. Pop a comment or email me. I'll send you 2 of my favorites, which are just so gold, the way that they do it. Anyhow, along these lines, how are you doing? Have you defined your life's ambitions? Have you thought bigger? I'm going to push you to think bigger here, to go after it. Because here's the thing I know, in light of what we're going to cover in a minute. So many people, when they start to lose their health as they get older, they're like, these options aren't even available to me anymore. Like, it'd be 10x, 100x more difficult for me to go and do these things now that my health isn't at top. Dang. Oh, that stinks. And I've actually had to coach people through that and the reality of that. One person's on dialysis, so that was really limiting in terms of what they can do and what they can't. And they're a very adventurous spirit. You follow? I hope this is resonating because I really want to stir that pot for us today. So how'd you do here? Like I said, I think I'm at a 6-ish because I wasn't thinking big enough. Next up is the Wheel of Perspective. We're going to whip through this for the whole entire year. This is the tactics. How have you been doing in terms of getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep? Whatever that is for you, where you feel rested when you get up. And that's good quality sleep, right? For me, that's a 9. I can do a little better in terms of my shutdown sequence, I think. Hydration, how have you been doing? And speaking of that, we got our bottle right here. We're honoring the struggle, celebrating this day. How have you been doing this year on hydrating? Making sure you got water with you always, preferably in a non-plastic container. These are the metal insulated, what do they call those? Metal insulated bottles from High Performance Academy. I got those probably a year ago, and that's all I drink from. I can't say all I drink from. If we're out and about, sometimes I'll get plastic bottles. I try to stay away from that. As you're probably aware of what plastics are doing to our body and to the world. Not good. So where are you at? I'm at an 8 this year. Eating nutrient rich, I would say 90% of the time. I'm not one for deprivation of things that I love, like lasagna, like a good slice of pizza like I had last night, Downtown House of Pizza in Fort Myers. Shout out to you, rocking it. That was delicious. I'm just not eating an entire pizza like I used to, and not sucking down a 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew inside 30 minutes either, like I used to 15 years ago. And that was a meal. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I used to do that. The reality of it is I'm eating nutrient rich veggies, fruit a little bit, lean proteins, organic, farm fresh, these kind of things. I'm eating that 90% of the time. But one meal, maybe 2 a week, I go old school and bring out my big boy self. My big boy self was eating some breads and stuff like that. Next up is exercise. Are you getting sweaty 20 to 30 minutes 3 times a week? And really revving your heart. That's like the basics of what we teach in high performance. That's just enough, if you will. And I got a 6 here. I've been setting up so much stuff, and I got this in my schedule, but I know I can do better. So going into 2019, I'm going to ramp that up even more. I do run. I ran, what was that, yesterday? No, 2 days ago I ran 2 miles and then did a workout. 2 days before that I did. Yesterday we went on a long brisk walk, these kind of things. So it's just a little bit more for me. I got a clear plan on what that is, but what is it for you? Over 2018, you've been exercising enough. What's the shift going to be? What are you going to put in your schedule? And are you going to share it with us? I'd love to see it. Next up, are you taking breaks every 60 to 90 minutes? The biggest breakthrough for me on that, for others reporting to me, the people that I've been coaching, is that, Char, my life used to just whip by every week. When I started putting in intentional breaks, where I take a small walk, W, I meditate or listen to a song, M, I energize my body, whether that's doing jumping jacks, kettlebell swings, or just breathing. Intentionally, we teach that as breath scaling. And then just before I go back into my work or back into my next thing, I set intention for how I want to feel. Just those people that have put that in play and tested it and measured it, 3 people I'm coaching right now, have said they have more, it's like they've slowed time. It's not the rigmarole of life. It's not the zombie in the matrix. They've slowed time. You follow? Like they're feeling more vibrance in their day. So WMEI, walk, meditate, or music, energize, intention. If you haven't heard the framework before, walk for just, around the block or around your office for 1 minute to 5 minutes. Listen to music or meditate right after that or during that, depending on whether it's music or not. You don't want to probably meditate and walk. And then third, energize, just jumping jacks or kettlebell swings or breathe. And then for 30 seconds to a minute, just before you step back into work, set intention. How do I want to feel when I do this work? At the end of this break, how do I want to have felt when I get done with it? Oh, it's so much about what Brendan teaches in High Performance Habits. People are high performers are constantly visualizing and thinking about how they want to feel. We're going to talk about that in just a minute in our training too. For me, breaks is innate. I live for breaks. I'm on it. And I love looking at all these tasks. I'm under a mountain of tasks right now, just so you know. And I'm like breaking them out. This is in that chunk. This is in that chunk. This is my fun chunk. This is my gaming chunk. This is more work chunk. This is my time with my girls chunk. This is my time with my lady, my time with my peeps. Chunk. Rocking it. Next, happiness. Now the way, obviously there's a bazillion ways to measure happiness. The 2 that I always talk about is, are we around people that fulfill us and uplift our lives most of the time? That's one part. And if you're a thought leader, are you living into the trifecta of happiness? Learning something new, creating from what you've learned, like synthesizing it, making it your own, and then sharing that creation with the world. The highest performers live into that. And I teach that in some of our previous training, but it's learn, create, share. Learn, create, share. The highest of high performers literally schedule 30 minutes of learn time, take a break. 30 minutes of creation time or an hour, take a break. 30 minutes of share time, putting it out on social, sharing with their email list, sharing it with just a few people. And I tell you, you get the ownership experience there. It feels amazing. I hope you're on the hunt for that, especially if you're a thought leader or a coach, whatever that is. This is gold. No, so for me, that's a 7. I know I can do better there on the share side specifically, putting goodwill into the world. That's all part of my consistency. So we're going after that in 2019. Be happy to break that strategy out for you if you'd like to hear it. Finances, 10 for me. But this is how well are you living into auto savings, as David Bach teaches in The Automatic Millionaire. Also, how well are you living within your means? Do you know your break even? Do you know what I always teach is your comfort level of income, which is 2 times break even? Are you inflationary spending? Meaning as more money comes in, it's like, oh, I'm going to get that stuff I've been thinking about. Check, check, check. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Or are you really diligent about your savings versus spending rate? Right? This year, more than ever, I've owned this. And I've only owned this because I brought such attention to it. And have been on the study, the path of that. Pretty cool. Next, presence. How present 2018 have you been overall? I give myself an 8. There's times where I get so deep in my head, like intellectual and like disconnected when I'm around others and even when I'm with myself. I'm like, what did I just spend 30 minutes thinking about that for? What a waste. So we want to shift that up. Cool? Next up is purpose. And we kind of covered that a little bit ago. All 2018, for me, a 10 on purpose in context for the wheel of perspective. Living into my very best self. The only thing I'm working on to get a 10 plus on this, as I kind of mentioned here, is to assure that I'm putting more goodwill into the world through the work that we're doing. And that's a major endeavor for me for 2019. And I'm just hammering that word of the year of consistency on it. Going after that. And then finally, the daily plan. And this beautiful delight, the high performance planner, is so powerful for that. If you haven't gotten yours yet, it's on Amazon. It's everything we teach in high performance on a daily basis, weekly review, and a monthly review as well. I love that thing. So I've been using that. I started that just after CHPC week because that's when we got ours, and it's been awesome, igniting more vibrance and more feeling around it. So that all being said, our second step is training. So let me flip the camera over and we'll get to work on the visualization. running that one-man show, as you know, and I love to do this. It's part of my purpose on this planet. Make sure we're in focus. And are we? Let's just tighten that up a little bit for you. All right, here we go. Let's do the visualization. So as you may see, there's a theme with this training, and that theme is very clearly this. These are 5 areas that are based on the book, The 5 Regrets, the Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. Bronnie Ware. And I reread this every year. In the last 2 years, I've reread it, and before that, I was either reading my notes or reading it. And I said, you know, I think that I got to do this exercise with you because this training right here, I'm planning on sending to a lot of people I know who feel every year is getting worse and worse. Like if I looked over 2018 versus 2017, it feels even crappier. I've heard that from a few. So what I want to make sure I share with you is this. What we're going to go over here are the things that people have reported. Let me stand over here. The things that people have reported have been the things they regret the most as they're on their way out. So the people that Bronnie worked with were on their way out of life through a terminal illness. Like they knew they were on their way out and they were like, so she had thousands of conversations and then brought it up into the 5 top themes. Does that make sense? If you haven't read the book yet, we're going to go over those themes. The very first theme is they wish they lived their true life. Like they felt they had to live a life so they would not shake the boat for the people they cared for, loved, those kind of things. So in terms of your visualization and you thinking about your life in 2019, what part of your life maybe is out of congruence, out of integrity? But you know what, I'm dealing with it anyway. Yeah, if my life was better, I would, ... Yeah, if my life was ignited, more amplified in these positive ways, I would do these things. Every time I'm telling you this, I keep thinking of Riley and Elena. Because they're like, yeah, we're bored with this island, we're going to go to another one. And they get their sailboat, put their dinghy on the back, and then they haul butt over to a new island. And it's a brand new experience. And as you might remember, if you went through the charge sessions with me, in control, we talked for control for new, control for novelty. It's part of the human drive of feeling more alive, more fulfilled. So, what part of your life isn't true to you now? What are the things you're doing because you've just been doing them for years that you're just like, you know what, that doesn't serve me, but I'm kind of afraid not to do that because I might get repercussion from my spouse, my significant other, my love, my family, my friends. We got one life to live. And my job on this planet is to assure I'm on the hunt for you, helping you get articulate about what you want that life to be. That's what today's perspective keeping was. And that we're clear about this. You know? So there's a little illustration for you. Where I felt untrue was in the fact that I've been working a little too hard this year. And I need to delegate more. So I've been on the hunt to sort that out as we move into 2019 because I can't do the sheer amount of tactical stuff. I love to create systems, but my true life is me out building, creating, and maintaining wonderful relationships. Like it was harmful for me to not go to all the events this year. I had to shut that down because I really wanted to sit down and implement. I did go to CHPC training in November, and that was it as far as events. But boy, did I take a hit of me feeling my true life because I want to be out learning, integrating, seeing you if you go to those events with me, and just enjoying that journey together, right? So that's something I had to think about going into 2019. But in the bigger picture, is there anything there? That true life. So many people get hindered here because of the finances. Oh, I couldn't do that because I don't have enough money and we're barely making it as it is. But I've also seen people who say that and they're like, you know, I'm just throwing it up in the air and I'm going after it. And then the universe delivers for them. Not always, but a lot of times. Where are you at? What's showing up for you? I hope we painted enough context today with the 5 Ps, with the life assessment, with the 10 wheel perspective, the 10 critical areas. So if you need some ideas on true life, like that might be able to fill that in for you. So that's number 1. Number 2, not work so hard. And by the way, if I'm writing on the whiteboard, I always appreciate it when a trainer pauses when they're teaching in video, like Brendan does. If you ever watch Brendan's work, Brendan Burchard, like he'll pause and I can catch up with my notes. So when I'm writing, you better be writing. That's the rule, right? I'm challenging you. So they wish they hadn't worked so hard. They missed out on some really critical things in life. Whether that was time with their children, whether that was time with their loved ones, whether that was just time with themselves going after those passions and hobbies. And what are we working towards? So many people that I've coached set themselves up to have to pay so much money just to survive that they have to work to go after that. But then people like Riley and Elena, they're like, you know what? Even though sailing can be very expensive, they're like, we're going to take a pause from work and go and enjoy life and see if we can make that work somehow. We don't know. And they just had an interview. It was actually an older video. I just watched the interview of how they made that shift. And then people are like, we want to contribute to you. And they make bank through Patreon. I don't know if you know what Patreon is. It's a way for people to support your endeavors. They're making bank per video. They release a video every Monday. And their Patreon subscribers, monthly subscription, they get bonuses and perks. And even when they're in their area to come on the ship and hang out with them for a day. It's like so powerful. So if you think you're working too hard and you have in 2018, what's that shift for 2019 for you? And if you're having trouble here, I get it. Because when I was in running ISMI back in 1995 through 2000, I was like, yeah, I got to work to start. There's no other options. Because I was so tight in that realm. I let the business control me. But my job here with you is to assure we're thinking that through for you. So I'm going to be clipping this part of this training out and putting it out on social and challenging people. How are you going to work less and still enjoy, income, but enjoy life more in 2019? That's a really powerful question for you. Is it helping you at all? I'd love if you share in the comments, whether you're watching this live or in the replay, where is it for you to work less? Where is it for you to delegate? We always teach that in high performance. The highest performers know what to do, what to delegate, and what to delete. Now you notice I didn't say the other D, defer. Highest performers typically don't defer things. They handle them, or they schedule time to handle them. That might be a loose version of defer. Or they delegate them, or they delete them. But they're so on purpose. They know so much what to say yes for, that they're so clear about what to say no for, or to. You follow? If people who've passed, going through their illness that eventually killed them, took them from this very planet, have said they regretted not working so hard, what are we doing to not assure we're in that same boat when health is no longer there for us? What is that? I can't get, it's just such a powerful topic. And it's me because I've been in a family that's been known to be kind of workaholics. And I was that guy. So we got to be real clear about that. Cool. Number 3, express. Your true feelings. And I got to tell you, this one comes up, fueling this and this. Because if you want to live your true life, guess what you're going to need here? Courage. Session 4 in the core sessions. Now we hit that out of the park in that session, and we talk about the 3 kinds of fear, the 3 kinds of pain that people are fearful of when they want to express their true feelings. We talk about fear of loss of relationship, loss of business, fear of outcome pain. Like if I do this, the outcome's not going to be so good. And fear of the process. So where in your life are you not expressing your true feelings? Where in your life are you maybe living in a land of mediocrity? Be like, oh, I could go for that. And I'm so close and I got good intention for that, but boy, I'm going to have to shake stuff up to do it. And I got to express my true feelings around it. Especially when you're in a relationship like 10, 20, 30 years, where it's like, I don't want to ruffle the feathers because that person will go off. That person will be like, what the boop? And we'll have 3 days of sheer, I only say that because that's the relationship I was in through 2005. You picked your battles. I picked my battles. But where is that? If the people who've looked back and reflected and given us their wisdom have said they wish they expressed their true feelings more, don't you think we should give that some weight? So where do you need to express yourself more? What are you going to say? How are you going to share your feelings? Are you going to do it positively framed? Are you going to be negative? Grunt? My old way of coping with this would have been like, I need to tell you something. We need to talk. My new way, and the way I've been for the last 6 years since high performance, is, hey, you know what? I got stuff I got to talk to you about. And you may not like to hear it, but I'm going to talk to you about it. Is now a good time? And if they say no, I'm like, cool. Can we schedule some time? I want to make sure that I'm being real with what I feel and what I think we need to talk through so that we can be better. And I'll usually connect that to some common ambition. So if you need more articulation there, just let me know. We're running on about 10 minutes left, which should be just the right amount of time for us to wrap this beautiful visualization up. But I just want to make sure that you're getting taken care of in light of these life truths and lessons from the people on this beautiful, who've passed before us. People who've passed before us who've lived on this beautiful planet and have shared their wisdom through Bronnie's work. This is so tight, so powerful. You ready for number 4? Is stuff stirring up for you? If it is, let it go, let it be. Just be real with it, write it out. Sometimes what I find when stuff shows up for people is they got to get their voice memo on their phone and they'll hit record and they'll be like, this is what's showing up for me. And they'll just record themselves, and it's so great to get it out of their system, to really go after it. Cool? All right, so number 4, stay in touch with friends. I love how the work that we do in high performance, because we do talk about this a lot in our life arenas. What are we doing to facilitate continual connection, especially in how we differentiate friends in this high performance work, in line of growth friends? So the growth friend conversation is much different than a non-growth friend. I guess what do we call those? Maintenance friends or old friends. And maintenance friend conversations are like, yeah, life sucks. Here's what I'm trying to do. And they get into a, sometimes, not always, blame, excuse, denial, victim, gossip. That's below the line. We call that being below the line. Being in bed. Blame, excuse, denial. But when we're with friends who uplift us, like we talked about in happiness, boom. That's from accountability, responsibility, ownership. Or ownership, accountability, responsibility, or OAR. You follow? There's a huge difference there. We're oaring, we're moving through life in our boat with an oar, or we're blame, excuse, denial in bed. So what we have to be careful about is going into 2019, who are the friends we really want to grow, have more experiences with, and what is going to happen tactically to make that real? You follow? What are you going to put in play to really facilitate game night every Wednesday, or couples night every other Friday, or meet at the, well, for me, if you're ready for this, meet at the Continental down in Naples every Saturday night or every Friday night, whatever that would be. Just have some fun and do some walking on the beach, and then maybe progressively have some fun and drinks and snacks. All these little things down there are so delicious. I love it. And I think you guys know that, because if you follow me on Facebook, you see that a lot. What are we doing to have a sunset party? What are we doing to go out and enjoy life? What trips do we have planned every quarter, half year, year, that really facilitate friendship, something we can look forward to? Cool? I hope this is stirring things up for you. Number 5, let yourself be happier. It's so sad to me that so many people reported at Brownie that they just didn't realize, this is hard to talk about, happiness was a choice. They got integrated in their brain, self-talk. Dr. Phil used to call this the tape that's playing in my head. I can't be happy, something's going to go wrong. I can't be happy here, something's going to go wrong. And just being able to release that and be like, you know what, I can be happy here. And if something goes wrong, I got that. High performance theme. I believe in my ability to figure things out, right? I can be happy here, I'm good. So where is that for you? Where are you not happy? Where are you getting sidetracked down the path of just getting owned there? You follow? So that's the shift. And that's something I really want to make sure we're paying attention to for you. Is where are you not happy in life? And what can I do to help you? What can I do to support you? What can I do to care for you, to challenge you, to dial that up? What do those pockets of time look like where you fall out of happiness? Why are they happening? Is it that idea that 10% of life is showing up and 90% is how we respond to it? Because when I got clear on that, I was like, wow, I used to let that thing derail me. That's nothing significant. Nothing significant at all. I'm good. And that shifted for me. I call that playing at a higher altitude in life. So I'd love for you to share with me, either in the comments, whatever that would be, where are you falling off the rails of being happy? Now recognize we have a negativity bias, like the human psychology for survival. We talked about that earlier. And then there's other things that can be stimuli, right? But there isn't any reason we should be happy. We're living in the very best of the world's time ever. Poverty is the ultimate low. We have very great options. We're able to drink water from a tap. We're able to easily, typically, depending on where you're at, access food. Have lots of options. If you're in the United States, you know we can click a few buttons on Amazon and get like everything we need, right? But some people are reporting they feel the least happy right now. So I wanted to make sure we drilled that home for you. If you have not read the book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie, that's where this comes from. So now I want to switch into tactics where we make this real for you. And I've tried to do that all along, but let's dive deep here and make sure we're taking care of you. How are we doing here? Anything coming up for you? You feeling this? Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you. I cannot thank you enough for your commitment to be here, to really sit down, to understand, okay, here's things that I need to consider, perspective. Here's things that, you know what? A lot of the people who've been blessed to travel this world before us have bestowed on us in wisdom, and Bronnie captured it. And these are 5 critical areas for us to think through. And I love thinking these through with you. This is a really big part of who I am, to help people feel better, be better, do better, give more, all these things that we talk through. So are you ready for some tactics? Let's rock it. First of all, get your journal out and think about. And I got all my notes here. I'll make sure that we totally dial this in. Who is my true self? So often when I spell true right. So often when I do that exercise, I think about the qualities, the characteristics, the things that, these were things that I was doing from my true being as I am today. These are things that felt incongruent because of old conditioning, old habits, right? So sometimes it's easier to say, who is not my authentic true self? And maybe put a page together there and just bullet on that. And then flip and do a contrasting exercise for each of the elements and say, okay, if my true self is not sitting there with a bag of Doritos watching YouTube for hours, my true self today would be somebody who's using YouTube to enhance what's possible from life's ambitions. So instead of watching cat videos of cats being silly and doing all that, I'm watching Elena and Riley in their journeys and then really dialing into what is it about their journey and the way they do it that really affects change for how I perceive the world and how I want to live. And what's holding me back? And where do I need to be courageous? Where do I need to bring more adventure, more love, more fulfillment, more aliveness? Follow? Next up, where can I work less? I'm asking this one majorly as I'm doing my visualizations for 2019. Yet be in the 5 Ps. And remember the 5 Ps of purpose, passion, positivity, productivity, and profitability. A couple fine tunings and boom, we have more free time to be able to do other things that we find purposeful, to live into more passion, to be with the people we love more, care for, or just ourselves, right? So if the work thing was hindering you, when we hit that over here, where can you work less? And if you need ideas for that, that's what our check-in calls are for. Sometimes it's a simple conversation of delegation. Onlinejobs.ph is a great place to delegate. A lot of the mastermind members that we work with in Brendan's mastermind, they use onlinejobs.ph and they've saved all kinds of time, all kinds of money. So you didn't have to hire somebody expensively for that. Really powerful. Who do I need to be expressive with? Expressive with. And how? And I wish we had a little more time. I'm going to wrap up here in the next minute or two. But I think back to 15 years ago, and if I had to be more expressive with who I was with, like, it was just battle, battle, battle. So I get it. If you're struggling here, I get it. But I also know we're on the planet for a very short time. And I love the saying that I developed over coaching so many sessions. And that is, for every moment we're with somebody negative or neutral, it robs us from that same moment of being with somebody positive. Even if that somebody is just ourselves. If I could get so emotional about this, if I could go back in time, 1998 would be the trigger point, I've decided, and tell myself that my life from 98 through 2006 would have been different. Not to say I regret it, because I don't. Because that's where my girls were born, we were on the journey, on the motorhome and all these things, like these things were happening. But I would have changed the architecture of how I showed up in life. Follow? It's heavy duty. And I get it. If this is a struggle for you, I've helped literally hundreds of people through this now in terms of painting an ambition for what's possible and getting courageous, clear, energized, influential, purposeful about going after that. And if you have struggles there, you let me know. We'll get on a call, we'll hunt that down, we'll go after it. Even if we can just create the ambition. Now may not be the time for you to take action, but if we can create that ambition, I'm on it for you. Life's too short otherwise, you know? And I hope that saying that I shared with you about spending time in neutral, negative versus positive, even just with yourself, resonates. Because I know it has helped so many people. Thank you so much for being here, rocking this out with me. Next up, who do I need to reach out to and be friends with? This sounds kind of first grade. Will you be friends with me? Yes, no. So who do I need to reach out to and be friends with? How and how often? So let's break this down real quick for you. Who is it of the people you know, even in our mastery community, that you need to spend more time with, even if it's just through Zoom or on a phone call? What does it look like? What are you doing? How are you going to do that? And more importantly, how often? I'm so blessed in the work that we do that I get to reach out and have this communication now every quarter for our original members of the mastery community. That's the VIP level 1 experience. You'll be seeing all that coming up as we go in 2019. And I'm going to keep that for you for life, because that's a big part of this for me. You know? It's so powerful, but what is that for you? I hope that helps. And finally, where am I happiest? And as you think about 2019, what does it you need to do to generate more happiness? So let's break this down a little bit from the mindset side. Where is happiness? Let's just picture happiness as this balloon, and you're moving through the world with happiness, and your balloon's full, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and pops it. And you're like, and you're like, what happened? Where are your happiness balloons being popped? Where are you reblowing them up, getting a new one, and happy again? You touching this? You touching this? I'm on it. I'm shielding my happiness. I'm protecting my happiness. So really want to think through that. The final challenge for you is to pick one of these, just one. Schedule that now. Schedule how you're going to develop yourself now. If you really want to go after a really solid strategy here, every one of these can be 1 month of next year. You prioritize which one you need to do first. So session or month January, that might be I'm concentrating on happy. Anything that throws me off being happy, I'm on a ton. I'm going to get rid of it. Month 2 might be building great growth friends and really setting structure for that friendship, whether that's quarterly, half yearly, annually, whatever that is. Who do I need to be more expressive with? All right, I got to build my courage muscles. That might be March. That might be going back through some of the high performance work that we've done, and we're starting our new group so you can go back through it fresh, January 9th, I think it is. So you're going to have access to that, because I say unlimited high performance coaching is up to you whether you want to participate. Whatever you need in life, we're trying to cover you. How can I work less? That might be April. And then maybe that true self piece ties it all up in May, right? So that being said, I cannot thank you enough. I hope this beautiful book's framework, how we shared it and visualized today, along with our perspective keeping, has really helped you step into higher levels of awareness around those beautiful 5 Ps. As you know, my job on this beautiful planet is this. It's to help you feel more purposeful. It's to help you have that passion, that fulfillment, that aliveness, that zest in life on a more enduring basis. It's to help you bring the joy and feel more positive. We talked a lot about that here. It's to help you live productively, and we were so clear about that today. Productive isn't just get more work done, it's actually working less and enjoying life more. Elena Riley, you're leading the charge. And then finally, living more profitably too. We're going to talk a lot about that in our Business and Internet monthly mastery training that starts in about an hour. And I hope this has helped you. Please do share something you've learned today, a breakthrough, a thought, something you're committed to. Would love to see it, whether you're watching the replay or it's still in the live cast. Have a great one, and I'll see you all super soon. Sound good? Peace! We rocked it!